How would it feel to learn your daughter, your son, your grandchild, your future was compromised for the financial gain of others? What if the institution that is supposed to uphold the highest standards of education and intellectual development instead took advantage of its students? It's 2008. Lehman Brothers went bust and brought the national economy down with it. As government funding for higher education dwindled, costs were going up for students, and job prospects for recent graduates were falling. In Louisiana, Bobby Jindal, the state's newly elected governor, made economic development a top priority. He looked to digital media as a solution.
We are quickly becoming a major player in this industry, which is creating more high-paying and high-tech jobs for our people.
Within a year, Louisiana passed the most aggressive tax incentive in the country to lure digital media companies to the state. Louisiana's Digital Media Initiative was intended to develop the local industry through more than just its tax incentive programs. Nationwide, higher education was under attack for failing to prepare students to enter 21st century economies. With its digital media program, however, Louisiana promised to foster relationships between state universities and companies and invest in workforce development so its students would be employable for the influx of new jobs in the field.
Today is about creating world-class facilities for our researchers and our students, so to attract and create great high-paying jobs right here in our state, so more of those students that come through this campus can stay in Louisiana to pursue their dreams.
In 2009, the feared budget cuts to higher education arrived at Louisiana State University. Its School of Art launched a new program in digital media before it was even approved by the university. And students flocked to the program. In fact, administrators encouraged them to sign up to the point of over-enrollment. Students soon realized their program was understaffed, had no classrooms, no equipment, few software programs standard to the industry, and no signs of funding. With year after year budget cuts to the university, shortfalls were made up with tuition and fee raises approved by the state. And digital art students saw more fees tacked on by their department that were supposed to be for supplies for their classes. As it turns out, many of these fees imposed by the department were illegally assessed. Most of these fees did not even go to the benefit of the students who paid them, but were diverted to accounts managed by faculty in other departments. And worse, some of these fees were used to buy iPads and other electronics for faculty members. A university stealing money from its students? That was just the tip of the iceberg. The biggest loss for the students was the integrity of their education. It turns out the faculty and administration's intent in creating the digital art program wasn't to educate students for all the digital media jobs coming to the state. Instead, they saw it as an opportunity to exploit the state's digital media funding priorities and protect their own positions. For example, grants purporting to benefit the new digital art program were written, instead to purchase equipment for grad students and faculty in other departments. The university told state officials that digital art would suffer if LSU's budget was cut. However, when its funds were spared, the money retained was spent to purchase other supplies. Digital art was also promised much-needed new faculty, but in the recruiting process, the funds available for new hires were diverted to enhance the faculty of other departments. The digital media curriculum was the biggest charade of all in the carnival of deceits. State officials had begun to undertake a review process to find programs to cut, consolidate, or reform. They were looking for programs that were low completers, or in other words, didn't have enough students. Faculty, who had been growing comfortable in their tenure, were getting scared. Very few students were choosing classes in age-old media like making ink prints from etchings off of an enormous machine. Faculty's master stroke, however, was not to change it all. So old media disguised as new media to protect itself. Trusting students were attracted to digital media and its job prospects, and they believed the promises their program made to prepare them to enter careers in film and digital video, animation, web, and interactive design. The curriculum, however, requires students to enroll in an exorbitant array of courses that defy the objectives of their degree. In fact, it includes less digital art classes than would be required for a minor, and only about a third of the digital art classes required by the National Accrediting Board that sets the standards for degrees in digital media. While they endured course after course in unrelated topics, digital art students were offered only intro-level classes in the subject matter central to their profession. To finesse their disguise, the faculty had added the word digital to the names of several classes and made them required to obtain the digital art degree. I'd like to think the failures of the digital art degree at LSU to deliver on its promises are an isolated incident, but research shows students across the country are questioning the value of their education. Everyone's talking about the higher education crisis and proposing reforms like student assessments, graduation rate evaluations, and budget savers like online courses. People are criticizing the corporatization of universities and the influence of university partnerships with business. Some are even blaming the students, saying the current generation doesn't want to work hard and expects to be spoon-fed. But what about the corrupting influences of economic pressures and defiance to educational reform from within the academic ranks? What about the academic environments where the faculty and administration feel free to indulge their fears, egos, and greed while ignoring their responsibility to their students? What about you?